pitch. But
yeah, you know, Nat, thank you. I've been working on something, and if the guys will put my screen up for me, I would like to show you exactly what it's like when Egypt plays and what it's like when Ghana plays.
Very well.
One of the biggest problems that we had in that game against Cape Verde was that we all felt that our attackers were very isolated. Okay, and I'm just going to show you something here that will completely demonstrate exactly what we have been up to when it's come to when it's come to our passing. And our passing is probably one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest reasons we've had the many problems that we've had. Now, this is the pass map for Egypt.
Okay, so this is the pass map for Egypt.
This is how Egypt passed the ball around in their game against Mozambique.
Okay, great.
All right.
And before you continue, I've spotted Mo Salah here. Sorry.
Yes. All right. That's Mo Salah.
There we go.
So you know when Egypt started the game, obviously it looks like Mo Salah is starting on that right-hand side. But most of the time, what is really happening is Mo Salah is playing in this half space. And this is his average positioning. And you can see that Mo Salah is not the widest player of Egypt. It's actually this player, who is Zizou, a central midfielder. So Salah starts out on the wide areas, but Salah's average position is actually in this half space, drifting into that number 10 position and playing off the shoulders of the number 9, Mustafa Mohamed. So when we start our game, we have to be very mindful of that Mohamed Salah is not going to spend a lot of time on the wings. In fact, the passing and his average positioning tells you that he's not the player that's going to be here. So it is our centre-back who will play here that will have to deal an awful lot more with Salah than the actual wing-back or the actual left-back. Now, if you look at the way Egypt have played, look at the passing lines to Mohamed Salah. Everything goes through him. Every single Egyptian player has found a pass straight to Mohamed Salah in their game against Mozambique. And look at the connection between their front three. Okay, this is Trezeguet, this is Mustafa Mohamed, this is Trezeguet, Mustafa Mohamed, this is Mohamed Salah. And you look at the passing between them. They exchange a lot of passes, Mohamed Salah to Mustafa Mohamed 4 times. Even this player, El Neni, to Mohamed Salah 6 times. So they found each other an awful lot. Okay, and this is the compactness Achi was talking about. And look at how compact Egypt play. They're finding each other and working the ball in intricate spaces. And we talk about the importance of the triangles in passing. That is what makes players available to receive a pass. So look at that. Look at all these triangles. Triangular passing. That is exactly how Egypt play. And this is how football is played. It's no surprise. In this match alone, Egypt took 21 shots against Mozambique. That is the most shots Egypt have taken in a single match.
At the AFCON.
At the AFCON, ever. So Ghana is going to face a lot of shots from Egypt. And they're able to take those shots because the passing is great. And they get into decent position.
Before you continue, Fent, I want to know if we have the conditioning ability, okay? Whether our players have the conditioning first. Second, and the technical ability in terms of deployment to break all of these lines of supply.
That's just exactly what we're coming to.
Okay.
So you look at, so this is Egypt. And you look, so that looks almost like a pyramid, doesn't it? So very compact, looks very structured, very organized. Compare that to Ghana, all right?
Okay.
Tap on that one, the next one, yes.
This one?
Yes. This is Ghana's passing map.
But you see, even before you continue with Ghana's,
yes,
Egypt are able to do what ordinarily national teams should not be able to do, right? So the sort of chemistry and the ease with which they are able to find each other and find solutions in games are something that is not normal. It's not common with national teams because you have, 2-3 training sessions before matches. But the trick for Egypt is that the football that you see their players play at club level is very similar to what the national team plays. And this is important because...
The average positioning of Salah at Egypt is his average positioning at Liverpool.
At Liverpool. And this is important because if you look through the team, Egypt have got 7 players from Ali, 7 players from Pyramids, 4 players from Zamalek, who play very similar football. The only difference perhaps is the quality of the materials and the degree of accuracy, right? And the end products.
On top of that, 7 of their starters in the game against Mozambique also started the last AFCON final. So it tells you about the consistency. Now, you compare the Egypt pass mark to the Ghana pass mark, and you don't need a magician to tell you which of the two teams is more organized. And look at the most surprising thing. And this is what everybody said after the game, or even during the match, that a player like Koningsdorfer was so isolated. You look at the passing mark, for example. There was not a single time where our front 3 players found each other.
In fact, the front 4.
So Jordan Ayew never made a successful pass to Semenyo. He never made a successful pass to Koningsdorfer. Koningsdorfer never made a successful pass to Pencil. Pencil never made a successful pass to Koningsdorfer. Pencil never made a successful pass to Semenyo. This is the problem. And this problem resulted because, one, we have a structural deficiency in our team. In that the way we deployed the personnel in that match, it was next to impossible. And that's why every single time our midfielder seemed to have been overworking and we always got very overpowered. And you look at, this is supposed to be our midfield 3, okay, in that particular match. This player adding to Semenyo in the 4-4-2, maybe in possession. But every time we lost the ball, he was supposed to. Can you believe this? That there is no single pass between Majid Ashimeru and Koningsdorfer. Our number 8 and our number 10 did not share a single pass. How worrying is that in that game against... And this is the problem. So, I think going forward in this game, so how do we encounter, or how do we deal with this deficiency? How do we solve this problem against an Egypt team that is very compact? You have to remember that Mozambique scored 2 goals against Egypt with an XG of 0.81. In other words, Mozambique were not even expected to score 1 goal per the chances they got, but they scored twice, which means that Egypt are going to limit the Black Stars to very few opportunities. And so efficient finishing would be key. Yeah. Because we won't get a lot of chances. In fact, Egypt, the 2 goals they conceded...
Who can we rely on to give us that efficient finishing?
I'm coming to it.
Very well.
In fact, that game against Mozambique, for example, right? Mozambique scored with the only 2 shots on target. That was how efficient they were. They had 2 shots on target. And before that, Egypt have kept 3 clean sheets in a row. The important information here, though, is that Egypt had scored in each of their last 17 games in all competitions. So, more likely than not,
they will score.
They will score against the Black Stars. And we have to score. And for me, I think this is one of the things I feel like we can do. I think Chris Hughton is I don't think he's going to try the 3-back system because he's never tried it once ever since he became a manager. So I don't think he's going to change. I think he's going to maintain Ofori in goal. And I think Gideon Mensah at left back. And I definitely think that he will maintain Salisu and then Juku. Because also in the game against Mozambique, Egypt shot in as over 40 crosses. Yeah. So we're going to have to be very alert to the crosses as well. And if you give me a choice between Salisu and Amate in dealing with crosses, I would rather go for Salisu. That's why I think if they did their scouting right, they'll probably stick with Salisu, even though he didn't do exactly too well in that first game. And then Alexander Juku, of course, will keep his place. Okay? I think in order to dominate that midfield and cut the passing lanes that you talked about, we need fiercely competitive midfield. And that's why I'm going with Salis. I think Baba is rather a bit too slow. I'm going to go with Majid Ashimeru. He's bold, he's confident, he's fit. And I think I'm going to play Mohamed Kudus. Even if it means that he can only last 60 minutes, I would play him. And I would play Jordan Ayew on that left-hand side, more naturally because I think whoever it is that plays at left back, which most likely than not will be Mohamed Salah and even Salisu, they will need a lot of help from our winger. And Jordan Ayew is the only player I can trust to track back as much and help out with that Mohamed Salah defending. And then Fentuo will keep his place on the right, and I'll play Semenyo. With this, I think that we have the ability to be able to press as high as possible and as incessantly as possible, but the key would be organization and doing this in a more structured manner. Because some of the things that we saw in the game against Mozambique, against Cape Verde, was when the front three went to press, the middle two didn't follow. And so they left a gaping hole between the attack and then the defense. And so every ball in between, or the moment they bypass the press, then immediately we are in all sorts of trouble. So I think ultimately, though, being brave and being bold will be the only way we can beat this Egypt team. Because we have seen the Black Stars and the Chris Hughton play more cautious football, and yet we have fallen flat. We have lost in games where we have tried to be cautious, where we have tried to be, I don't know what it is that we have tried to do. But one thing I have seen, or have not seen from Chris Hughton's side, is to show enough bravery. And we saw a bit of it in that second half against Madagascar. When Majid Ashmeri came on and we showed a bit more bravery, a bit more courage, we got the result. And that is what we need against Egypt. After all, what's next? Because if you lose this game and you're depending on that last game against Mozambique to go and win them, your destiny is no longer in your own hands. So show some courage. And I think it is one of the reasons people haven't necessarily been impressed with the Black Stars. They have not played football with a lot of risk, with a lot of heart and soul. That is important. And that is how, Mozambique managed to get 2 goals against... That is how Mozambique managed to get 2 goals against Egypt. All right? I just want to show you... Oh, okay. All right. I just want to show you that... there you go. I just want to show you that second goal that Mozambique scored against Egypt. Now, this is Egypt in possession in their own final third. And yet, Mozambique are matching them for numbers in Egypt's own half. Okay? So how many... Look at the number of Egyptian players that you have in their own half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? In their defensive third. And look at the number of Mozambican players that you have. It's exactly the same. All right? It's exactly the same. So, there. 6 of them, marching them boot for boot. They're not afraid and sitting back in their own defensive third and waiting for Egypt to just come at them, which is what we tend to do. They've gone pressing Egypt very high up the pitch. And if you watch, just before the pass is made, look at El Neni. El Neni is telling Hegazi that, what are you doing? Pass the ball back, because Mozambique have managed to block all the passing lanes to their key players. So you can see there's no way he finds this, because he's marked by 2. He can't go there. He could have come here, to be fair, but he wanted to keep the ball going. So instead, he goes all the way to Zizou, who did get to the ball. But then look, as Zizou gets to the ball, look at the number of Mozambican players that came after him. And the press was absolutely rapid. There's no chance that he gets through with that. He gets the flick in, and then Mohamed Salah obviously loses the ball, and immediately Mozambique are back and get the goal. So we need to be brave, in my opinion.
Okay.
And that is the only way we can get a result against Egypt. Any kind of cautious football and trying not to... I think we will concede. And trying not to concede, it's not going to help anybody. Show some bravery, okay, and attack them as much as possible. And I think we have goal scorers in that team. With Kudus in there, with Semenyo in there, stretch them. Show some speed. Egypt has the oldest squad in the whole competition. So they can't match some of our forward players for pace. Semenyo is quick. So is Fentuo. You understand me? So I think ultimately, the tactics are important. The team is important. The structure is important. But the players need to show a bit more heart and desire. And Mozambique showed the way.